Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition. Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, a WC Knives Sanor Scout brought to you by Blackie Thomas rendition, if you will. Before we get into it, you know what's coming. There was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, whatever study you read now, the numbers are everywhere. Here's the thing that's important to me. Anything over zero is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We're back to blue over here. We support Leo all to the chagrin of many. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. Well, we do, because we have. We take responsibility for it. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So here's the deal. Blackie Thomas, a couple weeks ago on the live, let me know he was going to send me this one and another of Williams knives. Blackie does a lot of testing, did a lot of testing for WC, okay? Had a lot of input on these knives. And he's like, man, I want you to try them out. And he graciously sent me this one. And I believe it's the WCSK. And if I'm wrong on that, when I do that one, I'll correct it. But he sent this one. This is the Sanor Scout. Now, we're going to deep dive this thing. But this is a first impressions type deal. This is a getting used to the knife type deal. Okay? So let me give you a couple things right off the rip. I love the steel. I love the choice of steel. It's AEB-L. You've seen a lot of it on the channel lately. It is a stainless steel. It's used a lot in the razor blade industry. It has some age to it. AEB first showed up on the scene in 1927, and it's been changing and evolving ever since to what we have today. Love the steel. It holds an insanely wicked edge. And now, I'll let Blackie comment in the comments if he sharpened this, stropped it, whatever he did. This is not a new knife, so this ain't a straight out of the box thing. One of the reasons, let me stop here before we go farther in specs. One of the reasons I kept all this in on the cutting paper, yeah, is to show you the sharpness of the edge. Okay, yeah, that is part of it. But without this with this not being a new blade out of the box, it's also for me to find out where the sweet spots, where the super sharp spots are on this knife. This is not as much of a demonstration or a review as it is me getting used to the knife. Blackie has graciously said that I could keep them for some time, so I want to give a full review. This is a getting used to the knife, finding the sweet spots. Let's continue on. It's AEB-L. The blade stock is 1/8 inch thick. The thing I love about makers, and you know when you got a guy that can make a knife, when he's not just making some sharpened up pry bar. Now, I love those. God knows I do. Y'all know I love blades of all kinds. So I'm not knocking in it. But when you get a 1/8 inch steel or 1/8 inch blade stock, shit, I'm having a stroke. And it's done well, and it's heat treated well. That means it's light, it's fast, it's sharp, it's all of the things it needs to be. You can carry it. Now, it's 9 5/8 inches overall length. The blade length is 4 13/16. 4 inches 13/16. Cutting edge is the same. The handle length, let me back up, the blade width is 1.5 inches. So it's a slicey little beast. And you see right there, I stabbed directly into a cut. Not trying to be deceptive. I just missed where I was stabbing. This is the John Peters stab test. Blade width, 1 1/2 inches. Wide blade, slicey blade. Love that. The handle length. Now we're going to get into the stats that matter to me. The handle length, 4 13/16. The inner grip, 4 3/8. It would literally fit just about any hand on the planet. That inner grip is imperative in the design of a knife. If you've got an inner grip, and anything from 4 up is going to fit most hands. That's just a fact. The handle thickness at the palm swell is 3/4. The handle width at the palm swell is 1.5 inches. So you have a handle that is not huge, but you have a handle that's conducive to holding. Now, why do I say that? And y'all know, anybody that's followed this channel, one, I'm the most redundant human on this planet. But two, with these old busted up hands, the handle is what matters to me. You got, looks like some canvas micarta there. Also, if you're new, I don't do a lot of research on knives before I do my videos. I just don't. I want to kind of get into the mind of the designer, see what they were thinking, give them my overall impressions, and then I'll go back and do all my research and things like that. The thing is this, guys. Blackie is one of kind of my... Blackie's a legend in the South. The dude just is. He knows what the hell he's talking about. And beyond that, and look at that. That's where we just poke and pull. That's what this test is called, the old poke and pull. What I do, the reason I do that with the ratchet strap is this. For my hunters, for my fishermen, if you're skinning, if you're caping, if you're doing anything like that, I can't imagine many hides being tougher than that 2-inch toe strap. They may be, I might be wrong, been wrong before, but to me it's just indicative of a hide. That's the way I'll do it, and that's why I like doing it. This knife is sharp from the point to the handle. We're going to do kind of a pinch grip here and just kind of a straight. Now, it's not a push, it's a pull. We're doing more of a pull cut and cut it clean. Now, this is my 1-inch sandblast hose. And everybody that's familiar with my channel, I want y'all to watch the cuts get progressively better. That's why I wanted to do this video. Now, you say, Scab, what? Well, guys, that's steel belted sandblast hose, so you know it's not sharpening the knife. But if the cuts are getting better as we progress, that means I'm getting more and more used to and accustomed to, you see the steel belting there, getting more used to and accustomed to the knife and how it handles. And that's exactly what I wanted to do with this video, because when I do my review video, I want to be insanely comfortable with this knife. The more comfortable you are with a knife, the more time you've got with a knife, the better that knife's going to perform. That's just common sense. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. Y'all all know that. So I wanted to approach this differently. I don't do this a lot. I really don't. Usually it's like, hey, let's get this thing demonstrated and we'll move forward. With this one, I want to take my time, because with function being so important on this channel, with me preaching function over form, I want to be able to show the knife at its true capacity. Okay? A lot of times, a lot of folks will want to demonstrate a knife and they don't have the skill set to demonstrate it. No shots fired, none of that, just being honest. If you don't have the skill set to correctly demonstrate that knife, you can't bash that knife. It's not the knife's fault, at least in my opinion. So I wanted to be comfortable. Now look at that palm swell there. I wanted to be comfortable with this knife when I do my review and build up that skill set, because this knife is deserving of that. All right. Now, William Collins has a lot of folks that follow him, that believe in what he does. And the more I use this knife, the more I can see why. All right. This is our 2-inch high pressure air hose. We use a Sawzall at work to cut it, but at old Scabber's house, we use knives. That's just what we do. If you want to see, to me, this was one of the more impressive cuts. Okay. Again, getting a little more and more comfortable with it. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Now, right here's just a straight push. There we go. Slide it down. The damn thing's sharp, son. Point blank, period. We don't base sharpness on cutting paper. I want to make that clear. Cutting paper is simply to give you that aesthetics of where we're starting with the knife. Now, right here, that little point right above the handle, I believe is for this. The other thing is this. If you are new here, we're going to do a lot of woodworking. You're going to see this knife a lot. I want you guys to understand, because some of y'all are going, Scab, I'd never use a knife for that. I understand that, 100%. My hope is by demonstrating the knives with the way that we do, with some of the more industrial stuff, some of the batoning, some of the different things, is not saying, hey, this is what you should do. What I'm saying is this. This is what I do. This is how the knife can perform in a novice's hands. Take and translate that over to your skill set. Guys, if it'll cut steel belted sandblast hose that easily, high pressure hose that easily, if it'll slice through 2-inch ratchet strap and do all the things that we do with the knife, and then just come back here and just some straight up batoning, it will translate into 99% of what you do. It means the edge is sharp enough to hold it. There's no chipping, there's no rolling, there's no damage, right? That means William has his heat treat spot on, right? That's right, Scab. Thank you for agreeing. What I'm saying is, what I want to show you is, does the knife hold up to what I do, then translate it over. That's what I base the channel on. Here's you a decent little look at that edge. And as we go and as we progress. Now, I did not cut paper at the end of this video for the simple reason, as I said, this is more of me playing with the knife, getting used to the knife. This video originally was 45 minutes long, guys. It really was. 45 minutes long, probably 3-4 hours of nothing but playing with the knife. And again, I'm not very good on the cinematography. Scab, if you'll turn for us, please. Right here, you can see the curls falling off. You can't really see it doing it because of my hand, and I apologize for that. But this thing really just sliced, and you can see at the bottom there, you can see them rolling down. This thing sliced, man, just, sheesh, what a slicer's dream. So if you need to feather stick, if you need to slice, if you need to process wood, I found that this knife is very conducive to that. To the handle, with that palm swell, with the thickness, with the width, with the inner grip, it's incredibly comfortable. Now here, we're just using a regular hammer grip, it's what I like to call it, not really going with a fencing grip. It does have a kind of a semi-hidden lanyard hole. This is part of a pressure-treated 4x4. We will do some chopping. We're going to take it to the woods. We'll do more with the knife. That's coming. But like I said, I didn't want to go to the woods without doing a video first, without kind of honing the skills, seeing the hot spots, seeing the sharp spots, etc. I can tell you with this handle, there's no hot spots. I can say that confidently. Between the little light chopping, the batoning, there was no shock in the handle, and I believe that's a big thing. We're going to do some vertical batoning here. Pick this up from Grugsy over at Legion Tactical. I like the way it looks, and to me, it's a viable solution. Now, to everybody that's new, I am in Florida, so for me, I have warmer conditions year-round. Again, that's just something you have to translate over and factor in. But I will say this. This knife performed. I was really kind of stunned when I took it out of the package when Blackie sent it. Man, again, Blackie, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. The first thing I did was took a picture and sent it to Kirk. I'm going to let him check them out as well. But here's the thing, man. It's comfortable in hand. Not only is it comfortable in hand and in holding, it's comfortable in performance. There's no shock. There was no loosening of the handle scales. There's no slip. I felt zero slip in this. I'm in Florida. Again, high humidity. Now right here, well, hey, I'm showing something on camera. Amen. All right. Right here, we're going to use every piece of the blade. This is just another way of showing it sliciness, guys. And that's really what I wanted to do, is give a first impression. What's my first impression? On function, 10 out of 10. On comfort, 10 out of 10. On sharpness, I'll go 9 out of 10, but I don't even know how old the knife is. That's not, you can't really fault that. I'm going to strop it up, and we're going to get ready to take it to the woods. Overall impressions, man, I am super fired up, super excited. The thing, guys, is this. Blackie, man, thank you again. Mr. Collins, awesome job. I'm Scab. You're not. We're coming back, son.